Hi viewers, welcome to another quick video about 3D modeling using FreeCAD's main 3D modeling workbench, the PartDesign workbench. This time you will see how to create a simple model using tools like pad, thickness, MultiTransform, and more tools. Let's get started. On the start page of FreeCAD 1.0, I will press the empty file option in the new file area to create a blank document. I press here. Now I'm going to create a PartDesign body object. As you see in the model tab, I don't have object on the tree view. I have to add the PartDesign body object to store all information related to the solid creation as the default of PartDesign workbench. So I'm going to click on this icon to create the PartDesign body object. Inside this body, I have the origin object where I will attach all sketches or objects that I need. Now I'm going to create my first sketch on the XY plane as you see on the local coordinate system. I'm going to create the sketch for the first shape. So I click on the create sketch icon, this one here, and then I select the XY plane of the PartDesign body object, this plane here, XY plane, and the program will automatically take me to the Sketcher workbench. On the Sketcher workbench, I'm going to use these tools here, the Sketcher geometry tools, to trace a geometry for the first shape. I will click here in this arrow and select this option, center rectangle, and also I will round the corners of this rectangle. To do that, I go to the task panel and I check this option, rounded corners, or I can use this keyboard shortcut here. Now I click on the origin axis and I create this rectangle as you see, 155.82 millimeters, enter, and a fillet of 20 millimeters and enter. And this sketch is full constrained as you see here. Now I escape this tool and I press escape 2 times to leave this sketch, and now I press home. Here I have my first sketch as you see on the tree view. I have my first sketch and now I'm going to extrude this sketch here. To do that, I will use the active tools of PartDesign workbench. The pad tool, I click on this icon and here I have this solid. Now I'm going to change the length of this extrusion to 27 millimeters and then press OK to finish this. And here I have my first shape. Now I'm going to create a fillet on this face here, like we see on this 3D model. We'll have a fillet here. Okay, I press home here and I go to my document, and to create the fillet on this face here, I can select this face or I can select, for example, this edge, and the fillet will be created without problems. Now that I selected this edge, I can click on the fillet tool, this tool here, and I will set a radius of 20 millimeters for this fillet operation and then hit OK. It's time to create a thickness on this object. To do that, I have to select the top face like this and then click on the thickness tool, this tool here, this icon. And now I will set a thickness of 3 millimeters for this model. I set 3 here on this field and then I press OK. Now I'm going to create a pocket, and to create that pocket, I will first create a sketch on this face, for example. I will create this pocket first. So I select this face here and then I click on this icon, create sketch icon, and I select rectangle tool. And now I create this rectangle exactly here. With this edge extracted, I will be able to set a distance from the edge to this line here. I select this tool and I extract this edge, and now I have this as a reference. Now I select the dimension tool to set the distance and I click on this edge, and now on this line here, now I click off and I set 4 millimeters for this distance. Next what I do, I click on this edge here and I set the length of 10 millimeters. Okay, and now I'm going to center this rectangle on the vertical axis. To do that, I will be using the constraint symmetric tool available in the Sketcher constraints, these tools here. I select this tool here, and next I select this point, now this point, and now this vertical axis, and I have this. So I escape this tool and then I select the dimension tool. I click on this line here, now click off, and I set, for example, 40 millimeters, and enter. As you see now, this sketch is full constrained. I close the sketch And next I select the pocket tool of 17 millimeters here. I click off, and as you can see I have this. Now I press OK, and next I'm going to create another sketch now on this face here for these 3 pockets here. Okay, I select this face here like this, and then I create a sketch on this face. And what I'm going to do is to select the centered rectangle first on the sketch jumps. I click in here and I select centered rectangle. Now I click on the vertical axis and I created this rectangle. And next I click on this center point, this origin axis, and I create this rectangle. And next I create this rectangle. Okay. Now I skip this tool and I'm going to set these all rectangles equal. To do that, I will first make the vertical lines equal. I selected this line, next this line here, and now this line, and now I press equal constraint. Okay, and now I will select the horizontal lines here and make them equal. To do that, I select these 2 lines in this way, and next I select this one here and I press equal constraint. And I have these 4 degrees of freedom, as you can see here. Now I'm going to select the dimension tool, okay, and zoom in here. Now I select this line here and this line here, and I set 5 millimeters. Now I'm going to use the external jump tool to extract this edge here and select the dimension tool again. I zoom in here, I selected this line here and now this extracted edge, and I create a vertical distance of 5 millimeters. I click in this line here and I set 10 millimeters. Okay, and now what I'm going to do is to select this point and now this point here and set a distance of 5 millimeters. Now I leave the sketch pressing this icon, and now I press home on my keyboard. As you see here, I have the sketch with these 3 geometries. Now I go to the model and I select the sketch, and now I select pocket tool. And as you can see, I have the pocket. Now I press OK here. The next step is to create more occurrence of these pockets here, these 2 operations. First, I will select the pocket, this pocket here, and now control this last pocket, and now I go to the MultiTransform tool, this tool here. I click in here and I change to the top view to see clearly what happens here. Okay, the first thing that I'm going to add here will be mirror transformations. So I will mirror these 2 operations in this side here. To do that, I go to the task panel, I go to transformations, and here right click and then mirror transformation. So okay, what I do here, first I will change the plane to XZ plane. So I click in here and I select XZ plane, and as you can see I have this. I press OK to finish these mirror transformations. Now I'm going to add the linear transformation. So I right click again and now I select this option, linear pattern. And I'm going to change the duration to x-axis. I go to duration here and I select x-axis, and now I scroll down here and I'm going to change these parameters here. I will go to the length and change to 45 millimeters, the distance. And now I'm going to increase the number of occurrences to 4. And I have these, as you can see. And now I press OK here, and next I will add a mirror transformation. I right click again and I select mirror transformation. Now I'm going to mirror this in the YZ plane, and as you can see I have this. Now I press OK here and OK to finish the MultiTransform operation. Now I'm going to make some changes on the sketch of this pocket here. I click on this arrow and now double click on this sketch here, and I'm going to delete this dimension here. So I select this dimension and delete, and now what I do, I just drag this point here. Okay, and I select dimension tool. Now I click on this line here and I will set 9 millimeters here, and now skip 2 times. The next thing that I'm going to do is to create these soils here. To do that, first I will create a sketch on the XZ plane. So what I do, I go to my document and I click on the create sketch icon and I select the XZ plane as the attachment plane for this sketch. First here, I will switch to the session view pressing this icon, and now I select the external jump tool. I zoom in here. I selected this, I extracted this edge here and also this edge. Now I'm going to select the polyline tool and start creating this geometry. I create a horizontal line here and now a vertical line, and next press M 3 times to create this arc. Now I click in here and now I press M 2 times, and as you can see it's not working. So I will skip this tool and I will click on this point here, and now I click on this point here, and next I press M 3 times, and now I click in here on this point. So I close this geometry, and as you can see, let me skip this tool. As you can see, I have some problems here, over constrained problems here on the solve images. So how can I solve this? First, I will skip this tool, and maybe the problems here is in this constraint here. I will select this constraint here and delete, and as you can see, now it's okay. Now what I'm going to do is to select the dimension tool and click on this line here and set a length of 2 millimeters like this. Now I have 1 degree of freedom, and if I drag this arc here, as you can see, I have this. So what I'm going to do is to apply a horizontal constraint for these 2 points here. To do that, I select these 2 points in this way, and next I go to this tool here, I click on this arrow and I select this option, constraint horizontal. As you can see, this is an impossible operation. So I press OK here, and I will change the way of selecting the points. So I zoom in here. First, I select this point one by one, and now I select this point. And I go again to this tool here, and I select constraint horizontal. Now as you can see, I have this. This sketch is full constrained. I close the sketch. Now I zoom in here and I select pad tool. I check symmetry plane, and here I will set a length of 5 millimeters, and now okay. Now I'm going to create a currents of this shape here on this 3D model. To do that, first I will go to the model tab. On the 3D view, I will select the pad operation, and now I go to the MultiTransform tool. Here, first I'm going to add the linear pattern operation. So I go to the task panel, on transformations, right click, and now I select linear pattern. First of all, here I will change duration to y-axis. So I go to here and I select y-axis, and now I scroll down here and I change the length to, okay, the length here should be 18.5 millimeters. Now I press OK here. And what I'm going to do next is to mirror these 2 shapes here on this side. To do that, I right click here and I select mirror transformation, and the plane here should be axis plane. So I go to plane and I select axis plane, and here I have this. Now I press OK here, and now I'm going to add another mirror transformation, but now in the YZ plane. I right click here and I select mirror transformation. Now as you can see, I have this. Okay, so I press OK here to finish the operation, and this is the final model. If you find this video useful, please don't forget to hit like and subscribe to the channel if you are not subscribed, and also share this video with your friends. If you want to support the content of the channel, you can do that. Just go to the description of this video and you'll find a link to the channel's Ko-Fi page. Or you can support the channel buying the ebooks that's appearing on the screen now. Thank you for watching this video. I hope to see you in the next video.